Hi there, I'm Sparkles Watson, and one of my favourite Carden Martin products is the Gallop shampoo. It's incredible at keeping the horses clean, even grey horses, and it smells amazing. I'm sure my mum used it when we were little, and it just brings me back to my pony club days. The smell is incredible, and it makes them gleam.
There's a warmth to it, there's an energy to it. It's just phenomenal. The hopes and the dreams. I'll start with the passion. Like, there's a huge emotional part. The Watson family, very, very competitive. It's undoubtedly Sam.
Welcome to EquiRatings, a venting podcast, and listeners, we have an Ask Sam Anything podcast for you today. I did a question and answer pod on my grassroots show with Sam, and we had so many questions come in that were grassroots related, but also about eventing and also just questions in general. So we thought we'd do a whole Ask Sam Anything series. Now, before we get stuck in to our question of the day, Sam, thank you so much for coming on and being part of the series.
Well, that's great, Rosie. Thanks for having me, and thank you to everyone for coming up with these questions. It's good, and look, talking about the sport of eventing, what's better? You know, it's great. It's passionate and interesting, and looking forward to it.
Well, everybody loves to hear your opinion, so let's get stuck in. Now, this question that has come in, I know this is a topic that has been discussed on the pod before, but I'm sure it's one that you absolutely love. Which horse is the greatest horse in terms of performance?
Oh, this is such a hot topic of conversation, because I think we have the challenger currently at the top of the sport. I think Lordship's Gruffalo is the challenger and probably the best live contender we've seen. Has won badminton and the European Championships. But the horse that Lordship's Gruffalo is hunting down and contending against, if that's even an expression, but it's Le Bios Sam. Gruffalo has won one 5-star, but obviously being second at badminton as well, being fourth at a World Championships, and being a European champion, he's done a lot of other things as well. But Le Bios Sam won 6 5-stars. And plus the European Championships as well. So in that point, they share it. But Le Bios Sam held the Europeans, the Worlds, and the Olympics all at the same time. And his World Championship performance in 2010, I think he finished 2 rails ahead of William Fox-Pitt and Andrew Nicholson. It was just a demolition job. And actually Lordship's Gruffalo's done that as well. Like, he actually has demolished badminton and demolished the Europeans, so fair play. But the consistency is there. The ability to really, really beat the opposition is there. What I loved about, obviously, the volume, that's the body of work has got to come. But I think Gruffalo could do it. But what you got to caveat that with is we love potential. Every sport does this. Every sport gravitates towards the next big thing, and they put that athlete on a pedestal before they're there, before they're at the same level. And I think you've just got to be, the gap is so big to Sam. As I say, the 6 5-star wins, like even his breakthrough 3rd bronze medal at the European Championships back in Fontainebleau 2009. But he was phenomenal. And for so long as well, because you think about the 2010, 2011, 2012, those are the 3 years when he won all 3 championships and held all 3 titles at the same time, and then had a 4-year gap to retaining the individual Olympic gold. I mean, it's just phenomenal to have longevity as well as dominance, volume, quantity as well as quality. It's undoubtedly Sam, but if there's a horse that can push him, it'll be Gruffalo.
It could be a very exciting next few years. I do admit, I think there was a podcast back along where you may have said that Gruffalo could be the greatest horse of all time. So it depends what happens. We may have to dig that snippet out.
Yeah, no, he could, again, it probably depends what mood I'm in. But actually, where he's, and what I've got to be careful on is with the ratings. So, like, we started recording our metrics back in 2008. BS Sam was already active internationally in 2008. I think he would have been 7. So I don't think we even have a 6-year-old season on our records. But also the ratings take time to build up. So the horses that he would have been beating, the ratings would have thought in 2008 that all horses were new. So the horses winning 5 stars and stuff, we don't even look at ratings before 2010, which was when he won his first Worlds. But even then we talk about rating inflation. So we would need to look at the inflation that's kind of taken place in the interim and try and do a bit more comparison, because Gruffalo has all the ratings records in terms of biggest HPRs, but there's a little bit of a bias there against Sam. And then there's opportunity. I think the sport is possibly a bit more competitive now than it was then. That might be controversial to some people, but the volume of, there's a lot of American riders really, I don't think America's ever been stronger or had more strength and depth. Obviously Britain, I think the volume and the strength and depth that's there as well. And certainly at Championship, I think there's so much volume and so much depth. So that allows more opportunity to build bigger ratings. But yeah, stand by. But it's a daunting task for, imagine saying to Roz with Lordship's Gruffalo at this point, when she has achieved so much, as they say, a second at badminton, winning badminton, 4th at the World Championships and winning a Europeans, and say, well, you've got 1 5-star, you need 5 more.
It's mad.
That is mad to just match the aesthetic Sam. I know the 5-star she'll want, and which counts as a 5. The Olympics does count as a 5-star, so she'll want that one, and that'll be the focus. But his on ELO ratings and stuff like that, Lordship's Gruffalo is ahead of where the Aesthetic Sam was. So that's probably where I get drawn in, is that actually some of the numbers that Gruffalo has produced. But the face value metrics, which when you're judging the best horse of all time and you want to talk in terms of, if we're talking to the person in the street, or the person who's come in with their dog and their ice cream at badminton, and you want to kind of quantify, one horse won. Even championships. Sam had 4 championships anyway, 2 Olympics, a Worlds, and a Europeans. Gruffalo has 1, so he's still got 3 more championships to win. Stand by, folks. Stand by.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insight today. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Rosie, and thanks everyone. Thanks, listeners, and we love listening to the feedback as well. Love reading the feedback, the thoughts. Very, very welcome to be challenged on things. The great Winston Churchill said, "The person who doesn't change their mind is never going to change anything." So it's good to have debate, and the sport needs it. So hopefully this has been enjoyable and useful.
Well, listeners, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to send them in either on the Discord group or message us on Instagram, Facebook. Send in your questions. We'd love to hear from you, and keep your eyes peeled to see what question comes next. Welcome to Fairfax and Favour's Quick Fire Questions. Now, today's guest is a Young Rider Gold medalist. She is a 5-star rider. It is none other than Felicity Collins. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is the best piece of advice that you have ever been given?
Don't compare yourself to anyone else.
Who is your horse of a lifetime?
RSH Contendor, aka Mickey, of course.
What Fairfax and Favour boot would you wear to a trot up?
I love the heeled Emiras. I've worn them with a dress as well as jeans, and I just think they're stunning. I absolutely love the over-the-knee look.
If there is any horse that you could ride today, can be current or past, who would it be?
It would always have to be Toledo de Cursa. I am his biggest fan.
Felicity Collins, thank you so much for playing along with Fairfax and Favour's Quickfire Questions.
Thank you very much.